a lot of people, young kids are there who are in high school. So definitely this is going to be a major advantage to many of them to understand what the college processing is and how do we go through with all the things in getting the admissions. And as well as there are a lot of, some of them have requested to give some information with regards to financial background as well, how scholarship work and how the grants works and what kind of fees, how the fee structure is between various colleges, private and public schools also. So definitely this is going to be very helpful to most of them. And I really thank a lot for joining this and conducting this webinar. And everyone, Joshna is my colleague also we were in Comcast like 10 years back, I think. We both were colleagues and we have a good relation. And with that said, she accepted our request to conduct this. And with that, I'll turn it to you, Joshna.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Please don't worry. I will send the complete deck that I discuss, and I will send you the recording as well. So please don't feel like you have to take notes or anything. Just sit back and watch. If you have popcorn, that's even better. And whatever questions you have, please type away. I have my associate Ninad, who will be getting all the questions together, and I will answer them. And if I can't get to it, I'll find the answer for you. Okay, so let me get started. Let me share my screen. Okay. So you guys can see my screen. Hold on a second. So I'm going to give you an insight into how the college process works. Okay, they just make it a lot complicated. There are a lot of moving parts, I'll accept, but I will just give you an insight into how to sort of navigate through that. Okay, so this is me. I'm a success coach, academic, college, and a study skills coach. I'm also an executive functioning coach. I have been in the IT industry for a while, but from the past 5 years, I have been coaching kids. And my purpose in life is to guide kids to reach their maximum potential. So I work mostly with teens. Okay, so my background, I'm a Tony Robbins certified life coach. I have gone through the ADHD course from positive psychology. I'm an executive functioning coach. I've trained under Peg Dawson, and I'll explain to you what executive functioning is. And I'm also working on my meditation certification, which I'll be done in February. Okay, so this webinar, basically, I'll cover what the admission process looks like. I'll delve into academics, I'll delve into extracurriculars, SAT, ACT strategy, pre-med, STEM track. I'll go over the financial, whatever it is that I know, you will hear. If there's anything else, please type away, we will address them. Okay, so what does the college admission process look like? So basically, this I'm talking about selective top 10 to top 20 colleges. How does the admission process work? One, your application is received. There is a regional admissions officer, for example, New Jersey or South Jersey. There is a representative for Duke, for example. You're interested in Duke. So let's take that example. So you have a regional admissions officer in Duke. Then I live in Pennsylvania. So there is a regional officer in Pennsylvania. So he gathers all the applications that comes to him and he sifts through it and he picks the best. Okay, best according to the rubric that they have. Okay, like for example, he has 5. The Pennsylvania guy has 5. The New Jersey admissions officer has 4. Then they go to a committee. Okay, they have a committee meeting and they pitch, hey, this student has a better chance and this student will make our Duke University come out good. He's going to do well in college. He's going to go outside, be massively successful and get us the alumni money and make our college proud. That's it. So they pitch the application and then the committee will vote. Okay, and after it's voted, then they'll have an acceptance pile, a denial pile, a deferred or a waitlist pile. So this is the 5 steps in a college admission process. And I'm just going to tell you what are the questions that they typically ask when they look at the application. Okay, let me give you a metaphor for it. You go to the grocery store and you pick the best fruit that's out there. Okay, it looks good. You think that the fruit has good potential. When you go home, it's going to be tasty. You're going to be happy. So that's what they're going to look in a student. Okay, how are the kids' grades? Okay, what is the color of the fruit? Okay, are they academically capable to learn in this college? Oh, we are IVs or we are the top 10. We are very rigorous. Can the kid uh, is the kid capable to survive in school? Okay, that is one of the things that they ask. And also, what unique qualities do they bring to the school? What is their uniqueness? Okay, and what impact have they done so far? Right, whatever you've done in the past is a potential that you're going to do in the future. Right, and what is your potential? What do you have to offer? Okay, so you need to break free from the mindset of how we studied in college and came out. We wrote an entrance test, we scored very well, and we got selected. But here they're looking at a child's personality. It's just not academics. You cannot be just book smart and not be able to communicate well, or they need everything. They need your whole character. It's like a campaigning thing, right? You're standing for election, you've got to go canvas, get all the votes, and it's something similar to that. Okay, so this is an example acceptance letter from Duke, okay, which the admissions officer has written, okay? So they say, Dear XYZ, I enjoyed reviewing your application and the admission committee was impressed with your innovative projects and research prowess. So this child who applied for Duke had a strong resume because he or she put in all the research and whatever things they had done in the application, okay? And then the second paragraph, at Duke, you can continue innovating in maker space like Foundry and through programs like Duke's team and the innovation and IE Bluepen. So the child who submitted the application has made it clear that he's interested in the specific program. And I'll tell you how you can go about it, where they pick up these clues. Okay. And I hope you'll join the member of Forever Duke families. So this is how an application process works, okay, on a high level, okay? And this is the generic process, and then the nitty gritties could be different. For example, UPenn looks at very emotional essays, okay? Georgia Tech looks at academics. So like that, you have to sift through, okay? You have to be clear what you want to go after. Okay, so let's come to the academics factor, okay? Uh, what it takes to land in any good school, okay? It's the quality and rigor of the academic courses, okay? And also your performance, your unweighted GPA, okay? Your test scores also matter. I'll get to that. There's a lot of confusion about SAT, SAT. I'll definitely get to that. Your subject SATs also matter. Okay, so like I went over maximum rigor. How do you show maximum rigor? You either pick honors course, or if you're in the traditional school, you have APs, which are the college courses, or if you're in an international baccalaureate school system, you have the high level courses that you need to show. Okay, and then your GPAs. Yes, please, I can't emphasize this enough. Right from the freshman year, your grades matter. It just disappoints me that kids take AP courses, but they don't do well on the college board exam. Three and above is not good enough. Please push yourself to get like 4 out of the 5. You know what? The APs add to your GPA. So please make sure you commit to it. Like pick the course that aligns with you. Just don't overwhelm yourself and not do a good job of it. Okay. Like I said, the unweighted GPA expectancy is 3.8 and above. Okay, next, I'm going to delve into the course selection and grades. Course selection, again, you should challenge yourself. You've got to map out your whole courses right from the freshman year. Okay, when are you going to take an AP or honors? Okay, what are the prerequisites for it? Okay, AP chemistry. AP chemistry needs honors chemistry. So which year are you going to do it? If you're going to do it in in the freshman year, then in the sophomore in your 10th grade or the sophomore year, you're going to do AP chemistry. Okay, physics I would highly recommend taking in the junior year because your brain develops the left and the right side of the brain, and you should have had enough mathematics for the AP physics. So that's how you've got to plan it out. This is like your PR. This is like your campaign. This is like applying for your dream job. So you've got to plan it out. And grades, like I mentioned, it matters right from the freshman year. Okay, and GPA trends, they like to see it improving in every grade. And class rank, if it's offered in your school district, in a lot of school districts they don't offer, but if it is, just check with your counselor. Your counselor is your best friend in high school. Okay, and here I'm just picking up our school district where I live, Downingtown, the honors and the AP courses that's offered. Okay, you will see that there'll be a lot of courses that will be offered in your school district. You just need to sift through. You need to see what you want to do, okay, and map it out and incrementally increasing it. You're not expected to do all your hard courses in the freshman and the sophomore year, but load it up in your junior and your senior year. Okay, and so this is the mapping from your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. So, and a lot of school districts, they don't allow APs in the freshman year. Our school district allows, you can take AP world history, AP seminar, or research, or something that's like a low hanging fruit. And also, you don't have to do the hardest AP that is there. You need to have a good blend, okay? The tough ones are the physics the physics C, and all that. Then you need to blend it up with economics. If you take economics, you get micro and macroeconomics. You need to show language and everything. And also, all schools have this requirement of doing one science, one history, language, and math. So make sure that you have that requirement. You just map it out. Okay, so that's extremely important that you know. Look at your school list will have everything. It will tell you all about the prerequisites. It will tell you about what grades they expect in order to be in that course. So please deeply look into it. Okay, now I'm going to break it down by year what you've got to do. Okay, let's start with the freshman year. Okay, freshman year, you're just getting in. It's freshman year is figuring out yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, you got to figure out what your interest is. What is your major that you want to do? Okay, and you map out, like I mentioned in the previous slides, map out. You need to learn, you need to have effective learning strategies and study skills. I can't emphasize enough that high school is brutal. Okay, it is going to be brutal. You've got to push yourself, but then you need to learn techniques. You cannot be an overgrown child in a stroller being pushed around by your parents. You've got to take over. You've got to plan it. You've got to be the CEO of your life. Ambition from your gut. Okay, so ninth grade is all about figuring out what you want to do. Develop your study skills. This is what I do. When I coach kids, I build a blueprint of themselves. Okay, I'm of the philosophy that you don't fit into another place. Okay, you discover what is right for you and you get other things to fit you. So that is what you've got to do. Okay, then you got to pursue activities that you're passionate about. Look for clubs, look for outlets. They're all within your school, right? You can look for that. You just need to map out. You don't have to do everything, but planning helps. Okay, then the sophomore year, ooh, your grades have got to be up there. You've got to challenge yourself. Then you start practicing your standardized test. Your school will allow practice PSATs. Okay, even though you're in the ninth grade, you can just pay some $25 and just go take the test. It doesn't matter. It won't count, but it'll show you where you stand. Okay, you're not going to ace the test, but the beauty of it is it'll tell you exactly where you need help. Okay, and again, in the sophomore year, you can try again, but what counts PSAT is in the 11th grade. Okay, um, uh, I mean, that is just trying it out, a standardized test. Then you have leadership opportunities. An admissions officer needs to see leadership. How are you contributing? What is it that you made an impact? Okay, so that's extremely important. And I'm going to talk a lot about summer activities in my next few slides. You've got to map out not only academic year, your summers, your internships, everything, you map it out. And also you start creating a college list. Ninth grade is about discovering yourself, what you want to be. 10th grade is like start building a college list. Think about the future, right? Google and see which colleges fit you best based on your values and strengths, and what are their requirements, what are they looking for, right? So you can start doing that. Okay, junior year, extremely critical. Okay, I would suggest in the summer of your 10th grade sophomore year, you start preparing for your SAT, ACT. I always coach and advise my kids to finish off their standardized tests in the junior year. Okay, please don't keep anything to the senior year. No. So you the SAT, sorry, PSAT, you take it in the junior year around the October timeframe. And SAT, ACT also you can take it. And also I'll explain more about it. Don't worry if you don't get good scores in your first attempt. There's always a second attempt. Okay, and subject test, which I'm going to dwell later. That also you start taking. If, for instance, you've taken AP chemistry, then you finish your college board exam in May. In June, you schedule your subject SAT chemistry, and you take it, because the top 10 schools, they require subject SATs. Okay, they need one science and one math. So you make sure you can start doing them. If you took like AP biology in ninth grade, for instance, or honors biology, and you think you're not going to take any more biology, or you want to go in the pre-med track or whatever, you can take your subject SATs after your ninth grade. Okay, and then, yeah, in the junior year, you fine tune your extracurriculars. I'm of the philosophy that you don't do 10 things bad, you do two things great. So you need to fine tune your extracurriculars. You don't have to be in 10 clubs, you can be in two clubs, but create an impact. Okay. Junior year is also about starting your college resume, start writing your college resume. And yeah, I can't emphasize enough about creative writing skills. And also kids out there, you think you can get information from YouTube, Google. You've got to read books. You've got to read books. That's the only way you can increase your vocabulary. Okay, you can't just it's not spelling bee where you memorize a bunch of words and know their meaning. No, the way you learn vocabulary is contextual. So you've got to read a lot. Okay, and start working on your creative skills. I also run a lot of programs for my kids. I have a bunch of companies that I run internship programs, and when they come to me, I make them write a blog. A blog is an essay, right? So they go do research and they write a blog. So practice some writing skills that you can do. And also, if you take like AP language or some other course, they just kill you with writing. AP history is also a lot of writing. So you definitely need to develop your writing skills and plan for summer. So the junior year summer is extremely critical. Okay, so you have to look for internship opportunities. You have to look for summer programs that will make your resume look good. Okay, you want to go to UPenn, you want to do a dual degree in management and technology. They have a management and technology summer institute. So you can perhaps apply for that. And the beauty about summer programs are that they mimic a college application. I will delve into that. Okay, senior year. Oh my God, this is where everything comes together. And I have sleepless nights because I have kids that I coach, the senior kids, because I prefer that they apply for early decision and early action. So September 30th, November 1st is the deadline. We have to get all our common apps ready. So that's the reason I say don't keep the standardized test for the senior year, finish it off in the junior year. Okay, it's like even if you didn't get your dream score, it's okay. You can make it up in your common app and your essays. Okay, so right, that's that. Of course, you've got to keep up your grades. Okay, you have to start working on your college essays in August. The prompts of your colleges come out in August. Okay, so you've got to be there and start hustling. I see a lot of seniors. They've not gotten to it. Okay, it just You have a wonderful future out there, and you just need to push through. It's a marathon. Just get your Common App. That's the way a college is going to look at you. So that's extremely critical. And make sure you have all your teacher recommendations ready in your Common App. Complete the supplemental essays. For instance, have a child who's applying to 10 colleges: UMD, Virginia Tech, UPenn, UPIT, RIT, RPI. So you have sorry, I'm going to get to that. Uh, a common essay, then you have the supplemental essays, and then you have single questions. So it's a lot of work, it's a lot of paperwork, sort of. So keep your senior year for that. Okay, and of course, you have to apply your colleges by the deadline and apply for scholarships and financial aid. I'll get to that. So these are the 4 years that I've covered. Okay, let's talk about standardized tests now. This is the testing formula. You have the PSAT, which is for the national merit. Okay, even though it's not a whole lot of money, it makes your resume look good when you're going to apply in the senior year. You either become a semi-finalist, you become a finalist. Application, they are going to look for that. Okay, PSAT, that's in the 11th grade. Then you have the SAT or the ACT. A lot of tutoring institutes, they want you to do SAT. They don't focus on ACT, but please do ACT as well. It's a fairly easier exam than SAT. Okay, and try both of them. I had a kid who I coached who could not get a good score in SAT, but he nailed the ACT. He got into national merit, but he just couldn't get that level in SAT. It's the test taking, right? So try both. Don't get frustrated if you don't get the score the first time. That's why I always coach and advise kids to start the test in the beginning of the junior year. And then you have the subject test. Okay, I will get to the subject test. So this is the testing formula, the sort of the standardized testing formula. Okay, so when should you take the test? Like I mentioned, the SAT subject tests, you can start taking them anytime from 9th to the 12th grade. Okay, PSAT, you can try it in the 10th grade. It's not going to count, but the 11th grade count. Okay, this says take it between the 11th and the 12th, but I would say finish it off in the 11th. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, the scores that the top colleges need. For PSAT, it's 470 above. For SATs, I would say 1500 and above, but 1530 is a good score to have. ACT is 33 or 34. And then the subject test, it's out of 800. They expect you to have 750 and above on either math. If math is mandatory, then biochemistry or physics. You don't need to take all subject tests. You just need two. Okay, I would recommend one of the science one, whichever is your strongest, and then the math two. Math two is mostly based on calculus BC, so it would help if you finished it at that time. Okay, next you have the subject essay. Yeah. Okay, subject SATs allow you to showcase your accomplishments and interest in subjects that you do well. It's needed for admission. MIT or any other Georgia Tech or other schools, they need it. Okay, and also it helps you for picking courses when you go to the college actually. Okay. Okay, another important consideration. I cannot emphasize enough as to why essay is so important. So important. And that's why I would dedicate the whole of my senior year to fine tune your essay. Okay, you do have extracurricular activities, letters of recommendation, and demonstrated interest, but essay goes on top. Okay, so I'm going to delve deep into the essay and let me tell you something. I know of two girls who got into UPenn because their essays were downright emotional and stellar and smashing. They didn't have that good of GPAs or standardized tests, but their essays that just launched them into an Ivy League. So that's an important thing. Okay, these are the components that your essay needs to have. One is stand out. It needs to create a lasting impression. It needs to be emotional. It sort of tugs you in the heart. I had a student boy who would not write emotional. That was just not his style, but that's okay. Make it interesting, okay? Because the admissions officer is looking at so many applications. Okay, he has 4 minutes. So don't sort of drone and be quick. Okay, make it unique, make it specific, like about a specific thing. Okay, if you're in the pre-med track, sort of weave a story as to what incident that led you to that decision, or something like that. So be specific. Okay, so please read extensively, write extensively, start reading and writing right from the high school, like the ninth grade. I know a lot of our immigrant parents, we so focus on the left side of the brain. We always are focused on the logic. Oh, math, science, math, science. We don't take care of the right side of the brain, which is creativity, which is where all your writing skills develop. So you need both of it. You need both of it in an essay. Okay. So I had this kid who just not get to the point. uh, Even in his third paragraph, he would just drone on and on and on and on. So he worked with an essay coach to sort of fine tune his essay a lot. So that's why I tell you that you need to have a lot of time for the essay. It takes a lot of edits, it takes a lot of sort of reviews to get to a good common app. This common app is your resume. You're going to a job, your resume has to stand out. So there's a lot of time that you need to spend on your essay. So give a lot of time for that and start it in August of the senior year. Okay, and what all essays you need to write. So basically, there are three types in your Common App. One is the common essay, which is a 650 word limit. It's got to be personal. It's like one essay that goes to all colleges. You're applying 10 or 15 colleges, it goes to all of them. And then you have the essay supplements. Okay, essay supplements are very specific to the college. And now I'm going to tell you a quick trick. Since SAT, ACT are gone, they're not even considered. In the senior year, they're going to look at your essay supplements and your common app essay. Absolutely. So for instance, this child is applying for UMD. UMD has 5 questions, has 5 supplemental questions that they have to answer, which is like 250, 300. CMU, Carnegie Mellon has that. Georgia Tech has a something specific. This is like telling something that they're looking for their colleges. So that's extremely important. Okay, so you need to have enough time for that. So if you're applying for 10 colleges, you have one common app, you have, supplemental essays about 3 per college, that makes it 30. Then short essays, short answers, most of them have. So you're looking at about 35 essays to write in the senior year. And they're going to be all different and extremely confusing. Okay. They make it like that. So give yourself enough time. Okay, and essay coach, absolutely. If you just think that you get good SAT scores or grades, nah. You need to have a stellar essay coach who would help you with drafting, okay, who would help you with your grammar, with the whole original structure. They see things from the point of view of the admissions officer. Okay, now let's talk about extracurricular activities. Again, what do they look for extracurriculars? One is the impact. Okay, what is the impact of your effort? Are you really passionate about it, or your mom or your dad just enrolled you into it because it looks good on your resume? No, that's not how it should be. Or is it unique? Okay, what is it? What are you doing? Right? And also, you only have 10 spaces in your common app. You have 10 lines. Okay, so you need to make it worthwhile. Okay, I know a lot of parents, a lot of students say, oh, I'm going to start a nonprofit. Yeah, I'm going to start a nonprofit. But how are you connecting with the admissions officer when you say that you've started a nonprofit? It doesn't show anything that you've actually done something, right? So there is no correlation between starting a nonprofit to your college app, because you've got to show impact, right? Okay, so there are different extracurriculars that you can do. So if you're going in the pre-med track, I would say you need to align it with that, right? You need to like shadow doctors, or work in a hospital or a vet or something like that. Okay, and another thing that I recognize with the extracurriculars is I coach a lot of kids for high school, and I just get bogged down because they have such wonderful ideas, and there weren't enough vehicles to sort of fulfill their ideas. So I have my own nonprofit where I help kids who I coach channelize it. Okay, I have a kid who loves building computers. Okay, so he's going to have hackathons for the underprivileged, the African American in Philadelphia. I have another girl who's very clear that she wants to be in the aerospace field. So we have to show leadership. So she's going to have a STEM competition in my with our nonprofit, of course. And then I have a girl who wants to raise money for Liberia to build a college in Liberia. So those are the things that we build. And also I profess kids to like take charge and run it, right? Make mistakes. It's perfectly fine. Don't ever be afraid of making mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and grow and just go for it. Okay, so extracurriculars, they also look for leadership, initiative, and impact. Okay, so the next important thing when it comes to high school is leadership and communication. I can't tell you how important communicating is. You are navigating in school. You have to talk to your counselor. Okay, your counselor says, "Hey, you just take it honors." You've got to go negotiate. No, sir, I need AP. Right? I can do it. I can do it. So you've got to negotiate, know how to speak, right? So there are a lot of teachers who give a lot of weight to class participation. You've got to speak up, right? I've coached kids who are extremely introverted. We make a list of questions. We have targets. I set targets for them. Hey, you're going to ask 2 questions in class, or you're going to raise your hand for 2 times. So those are extremely important. Then there's assertive communication. Your teacher has given you 89.5 and 90 is A. How are you going to negotiate, right? So that's extremely, extremely important. I run a lot of communication classes, public speaking classes, where I incorporate my Tony Robbins style of making connections and everything. Oh, by the way, I do have a Facebook group that I'll send you a link to, which you can join. I share a lot of coaching information there and making new connections. I'm going to get to, do I have a slide on college interviews? I'll get to that. So that is important, like communication, right? Absolutely. A lot of colleges have interviews. Like highly selective schools, they have alumni who will interview you. Okay, so that's an important opportunity. So you have to go and speak to the alumni, and the alumni like sees whether you fit into the college, right? So that's another thing why communication is extremely important. Okay, you have other considerations, which is positive recommendations, that demonstrated interest, and community involvement, right? So this is what I mentioned about. Like I have internship opportunities during summer, based on whatever you're interested. You want to code, then I had a bunch of kids work on Amazon Alexa programming, and and you want to like write a blog. There's all kinds of opportunities that I have. Oh, I was supposed to fill in college interviews and I completely forgot. I apologize. So I'm going to speak about it. There are no letters here. So, college interviews. It's not like the college interview is really definitely needed in a STEM field, but I can tell you how much it's important for a pre med field. Okay, so Boston University, they have an interview process where the head of the admissions, he interviews you, and then the head of the program interviews you. But if you go to other programs, like Temple has a program where it's a group interview. So they get a group of kids and they interview you. They ask you all kinds of questions as to why you want to be a doctor, or you're just backing up and an incident happened. How are you going to speak, right? So you need to get your story cleared up, right? So I coached a kid who actually interviewed for Harvard. He didn't get into Harvard, but guess what happened? The alumni who interviewed him ran a hedge fund company, and he got an internship in the hedge fund company. So you see, it's all about networking, and the college interviews gives you an opportunity because the alumni that they pick are massively successful. They are like highly successful, and they use them as a vehicle to sort of make sure they're getting the cream of the crop. So college interviews are important as much as communication is. Okay, summers. Summers of high school has to be carefully orchestrated, okay? Like with precision. Okay, you plan out what you want to do, okay? And where you want to show your passion. Like what do you want to do in your summer after the freshman, after the sophomore? You have 3 summers to show. Okay, so use them prudently. Okay, so the aeronautical girl that I coach, we found out that there are programs in Emory where she can go in summer to learn about aeronautical and aerospace programs. Or for example, I had a kid who's interested in entrepreneurship. So Pennsylvania runs a free entrepreneurship week. So he applied for that, and there are so many summer programs that you can add. So I'll give you an example. So 2 applications comes to the admissions officer. Okay, so one is a regular vanilla. Then no, both of them are aspiring to get into the engineering program. Okay, but one did effectively well in his summer, right? He showed in his resume that he did good things in the summer and he did impact. So that would help him a better chance to get into the colleges, right? Okay, so next, what colleges are right for your kid? I wouldn't say, hey, go to this college. My whole approach is holistic. Everything has to be aligned with your child's needs, talents, capabilities, interests, and passion. Okay. So, like I said, you have to understand children, you have to sort of give them an opportunity to discover themselves, right? We are not at a point where you say, hey, you become an engineer, hey, you become a doctor, or you become an artist, or I mean, a lawyer or anything. It's like it has to align. And when kids come to me, I have several tests that I do to find out where their interests lie, and then I work towards programs that align with them. Okay, I don't coach kids to go after this program, right? It has to fit in with you. Like, let me give you an example about myself. Okay, I'm more right brain creative, and my multiple intelligence is more interpersonal, but I was in an IT job for like 20 years. I mean, that really didn't align with me, and I got into coaching, and that's where my strength lies, right? So that's important. I wouldn't say it was a waste, but I finally uh, found what I was passionate about. So that's it's good if a child self discovers what their strengths and weaknesses are. Okay, so when you pick a college, yeah, of course you have to look for the child's interest and see if it aligns. What are the academic programs, the location, the size, and the diversity? I had a kid who was very set on BS, pre-med BS MD, and he liked this program in Syracuse. But then when he went to see the campus, he didn't like it. It was too dreary and depressing, so he didn't pick that. So it's a good idea to go visit the college as well. Check out what athletics, what activities they have, which is extremely important. Okay, and sort of, do they have like an incubator program? If it's an entrepreneurship, what kind of activities do they have? What kind of student bodies do they have? How's their alumni? How strong is it? The graduate rates, the financial aid, and college fees as well. So I had this kid who got into Duke, Johns Hopkins, and Georgia Tech. He picked Georgia Tech because financially it made sense, and also he could transfer the credits into Georgia Tech. So those are a lot of consideration that you need to take into effect when you pick colleges. College visits are good. You can take a campus tour, speak with a counselor, talk about financial aids and opportunities. You can even sit in a class. But let me tell you something. People think, oh, if you register your college visit, it will matter in your college application. No, 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 it doesn't matter. Visiting a college or not doesn't matter at all. Okay, but it helps you to get a sense of where you're going to go for 4 years or more than that, and to speak with other people and see if it really fits in with you. Okay, so those are the college visits. Then now the senior year, okay, it is like okay, it's like a wedding. You've planned this wedding, okay, you've been planning it for such a long time. It's the caterers, it's this, it's that. Now is the time that you put it all together. Okay, it's like a week before the wedding and you have to make sure that everything is in place. Okay, so here is how you do it. You categorize your schools, I mean schools or colleges, which is like your dream or more likely, it'll be good to have. You have three or four of them. Then you have good match, which is again two or three, and the reach or your safeties. I would definitely say have two or three. Okay, so I worked with a senior, and he had three schools. I'm like, nah, you need to put 10 schools in there. You're capable of doing it. Okay, then you need to review the scholarship and the financial aid requirements. I'll delve into scholarships and financial aids as well. You need to look into your college essays. Okay, like I said, the 650 word essay. Look for recommendations and everything. Everything has to be streamlined now. Okay, now it's just one week before the wedding. We have to make sure that everything is in order, right? Recommendations. Please don't wait for the last minute. It gives me a heart attack when kids say it's a week due and the counselor has not put in the recommendations. It's a travesty. So please, all these paperwork are extremely important. And requesting for your transcripts. Yes, make sure you have them on time, and scheduling your college interviews and everything. Just it's like at this point you're doing a project management work. Okay, so let's talk about financial plan. You have to determine the college costness, not just the tuition, like living expenses, food, and everything. And look at your college savings. I hope you guys have invested in 529. I did, and it's pretty much going to cover all my son's college. I don't have to dip into my savings that much. Okay, and also you need to search for scholarships, but I will tell you a truth about scholarship. It's not a very pretty truth, but I will speak about it. Oh, did I? Or whatever. I'll get to that. Yeah. So let's focus on the pre-med track. Okay, this is what a lot of questions would do that. So one more thing that you can do during COVID is you have virtual sort of shadowing. It's all available. Please enroll in that. And when things settle down, you volunteer in a hospital or a nursing home. And yes, you need to pick courses that are very heavy on science and math. And AP psychology is another course that you can take because it's somewhat medically related, your brain and your behavior. So that's a good thing. Yeah, science and math, because when you go into your pre-med track, you're going to do a lot of physics, which involves a lot of math heavy. Okay, and also look for internship and research opportunities, or you're passionate about a specific health related topic, then write some blog or something like a newsletter in your school. So that is what you can do with the pre-med track. STEM field, of course, look for internships during the high school year, right? Everything is available online. Like a lot of companies are looking for high school kids who can do internships. And of course, your math, your science club, you have your DECA club, you show some leadership, DECA and all those sort of technical clubs in school. If you see your school will have so many clubs. If they don't, then start a club. It makes you look good, right? You have always teachers and administrators who are willing to help you, and you join the club in your freshman year, and you take over the leadership in your senior and your junior year, and you mentor kids, right? So that is another thing that you can do for a STEM field. Then the arts field, if you're interested in arts, like build your portfolio, start researching schools that you're like, I have a kid that I coach. He went into the NYU Tisch program. He loves photography. So he had his portfolio ready. He knew which schools he wanted to apply. And if you can find a mentor in a professional a professional artist or somebody who's a leader in the visual arts field, it would be fantastic. Okay, so I have the financial loans and options. One is the federal. You have to fill up your FAFSA, which will qualify you for the federal loans, and then your CSS also. But FAFSA is extremely important, which opens up October 1st in the senior year. It'll take you 2 days to fill out. They are like very, very low interest loans at the moment. They're like 2.75, but they only give you 31,000. That's like so less. But CSS will make you qualify for institution loans. For example, if you're joining Georgia Tech themselves will have some kind of loans that you can apply for. Okay. Then you have private loans. I did see if you're in the National Society of the Honors thing, you have some kind of loan opportunities there. You have Salime. Otherwise, a private loan is like a mortgage. Okay, I'm here at the scholarship. I did list out a lot of scholarship opportunities here. I had a very bright kid who went until the semifinals of Coca-Cola but didn't make it. He was the valedictorian, exceptionally good kid. But let me tell you something, scholarships are extremely hard to get if they are not needs based. So please forget about scholarships if you earn more than like 100,000 or in an IT job. It's not going to come. It's extremely difficult because most of them are needs based and we don't fall into that. And also merit based are so few. You have national merit, which gives you 2,500, but the best place to look for scholarship is within your school. Your counselor, your Naviance, the tool that you use will have all the information there. There are a lot of alumni scholarships within your school, like people who've gone out and become very successful. They would have opened up a scholarship program within your school. And if you're a girl in STEM, you have some specific um, sort of scholarships. And let me tell you the trick about high school or navigating high school in America. People are not going to come knocking on your door and saying, hey, this is a scholarship, you should apply for it. You've got to go after it. Okay. Doggedly, be a hound dog. Be after your counselor. Schedule like a weekly meeting or bi-weekly meeting with your counselor. Okay. And talk to them. Map out. Hey, is there something that is there any scholarship that fits into this if I go to this school? Okay, and also some of the schools have specific scholarships that you can qualify for from the national merit. Okay, some California schools and all that. So you need to make a checklist and you need to go after it, right? This is your PR program. You've got to navigate it. You ask and you get information. Nobody's going to voluntarily give it to you. So you've got to dig deep and make sure your counselor has so many kids to cater. So why do they have to spend time with you, right? So that is there. And also another thing that another kid of mine who's exceptionally good had a problem in the school is there was another student who was equally competitive, or they felt like he was a boy, of course. They felt like this girl had a better opportunity in UPenn. So it's like, so he had to like sort of convince the counselor that, hey, no, my resume is going to look equally good, and I will bring glory to the school as well. So you should consider. So those are all the aspects that you need to look at, the nuances. So have a good relationship with your administrator, your principals, and oh, the principal has the key to a lot of scholarships. Let me tell you that. Okay, so he can give you that. So you need to have a good relationship with the principal. Basically be a hustler, right? So that's one of the things that I would say about scholarships. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over a few slides and tell you really what it takes to be massively successful. Okay, I don't see being massively successful in school as being the goal. Being massively successful in life is the goal. In order to be massively successful, you go to a highly selective school. In order to go to a highly selective schools, you need to have good grades. So that's the story you've got to build. Okay, high school and Ivy Leagues are a pet stock to be amazingly successful in life. So, what are the secrets? Discover your strengths and weaknesses, talent, passion, and interest. Got it? Be a self starter. Maximize your organization and time management skills. Master communication skills. Look for opportunities, push your limits, and dream big. And I'm just going to break down a little bit more into the secrets. Okay, so there are three things to secret in high school. One is academics, of course, you need to have good grades, duh, right? But there's social and communication skills, how well you navigate. Okay, you might be stellar math genius. What's the point when you don't speak up, right? So that's extremely important. Then you have executive functioning skills, which I'll go into in my next slide. So these are the three core skills that are absolutely needed. Of course, this communication skills, I'm going to break it down further. You need to be assertive. Okay, your teacher didn't give you this grade on this test, right? And it was very critical. You worked hard for it. How are you going to go convince your teacher, right? You need to be able to read your teacher, analyze their personality, like know what ticks them, right? So that's important. You also need to let others know about you. Okay, you're in a big group. There is an eminent researcher who's come to your school. You need to make a connection. How are you going to make yourself shown, right? You've got to speak up. You've got to have your elevator pitch ready. Hey, I'm this and this. I'm passionate about this. Why don't you give me an opportunity for research? You've got to speak up. So you need to let others know you. Okay. And then expressing what you feel and what you need, right? And then understanding your beliefs and other people's beliefs. I had this example where I had a troubled teenager who just wrote something inappropriate on Facebook because another person wrote about some hot political issue. We can't have that, right? So you need to understand your belief and you need to be tolerant of other people's belief, right? And then making new connections, which I dwelt upon in the interview process. Okay, so the college interviews, you have an opportunity to meet so many people. You've got to make an impact. Ask for what you want, right? So and there's so many people who are going to come into your life, and you've got to make an impact to get to where you are. Okay, and I can't emphasize enough on the academic and the career communication. Like there are different people, and you've got to be a self-starter and go after them, right? That's your communication skill. And so I told you about executive functioning skills. A lot of you don't know the terminology. It's an umbrella for all these 11 skills, okay? A kid who masters executive functioning and communication skills, their grades are going to be up there. Let me tell you why. Okay, your math grades are falling. You hire a math tutor. But what if you don't still submit your homework? Okay. What if you're not checking your test for accuracy? That's metacognition. Metacognition is questioning yourself. Hey, did I get this problem right? Hey, did the adding up happen correctly? Hey, so that is metacognition. Working memory. You learned about multiplication yesterday. Today you've got to apply that. That's the short-term memory, right? Executive functioning is all in the prefrontal cortex of your brain. You've got to leverage that. Okay, and then this response inhibition and emotional control, not blurting out whatever you feel like, right? So I had this, my own son did this, how silly. And I have to share this with you. So he was playing with his friend, and this kid came and said, "Oh, you don't have money. I'm so rich." So my son said, "At least my parents are not divorced like yours." Oof. It seemed right, but it's the most inappropriate thing to say. It was so rude and so insensitive. So I get a call from the counselor saying your son did this. So over time, we taught him that it's it's okay to it's the way you navigate, right? You just don't blurt out, even though that is so. That's emotional control and response inhibition, right? Even as adults, we have executive functioning deficiencies. Mine used to be emotional control and response inhibition. That's why I'm going to be a meditation teacher, because when you're a teacher, you learn the depths of it and you apply it on yourself, right? So that's important. Then there's goal directed persistence. I can't emphasize enough that kids have to be the CEO of their lives. So you make executive decisions about your life. It's a corporation, okay? Your parents, they are the board of directors, they are the CFO, they are the drivers. They're always there for you, but you have to be a self-starter. You ask yourself, how am I going to make my company profitable, right? So that's goal directed assistance. Then there's sustained attention. Hey, I pick up a task. How Am I going to complete it? Okay, it's going to be hard. Oh, my friend called me for video game. Mm-mm. And you go away. That's sustained attention. You need to have that. Then there's task initiation. It has to come from you. You don't want to be prodded by your parents. And flexibility. This is a skill that none of us needed before COVID. Now what has happened is all the structured learning is online. Poof, you don't have structured learning. You don't have school, but yet you have to make use of your home to learn. And the learning has to be deep because we can't have gaps and you can't have knowledge attrition. So flexibility is important. So these are the 11 skills that you absolutely need to master. And I'm an executive functioning coach and I coach kids. It's not like kids would lack all of them. It would just be like two of them that they would really need help with, right? Okay, so the secret to success in high school is mastering your social and communication skill, your executive functioning, and your academics will automatically go up when you leverage them. Okay, so I'm done with my presentation. We will go to the question section, and these are the coaching that I do. I coach for high schoolers, college coaching. I coach study skills, right? So I have effective study skills. I run tests where I can find out what is their mode of learning and executive functioning, like I showed you the slide before. Goal setting, time management, everything comes into this. Then I run a lot of public speaking and communication classes, which are mostly based on Tony Robbins style. And I also coach ADHD kids, like executive functioning kids who lack a lot of executive functioning are basically ADHD kids. So this is what I offer, and that is it. So let's get to the questions. Yeah. Yeah. So any questions, Ninad? Anybody? You want to unmute people so they can ask? Yeah, I will be sharing this presentation, yes, and the video. We will be uploading it to YouTube. Ninad, you there? Yeah. Anybody has any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Where is Nino? Okay, can you ask him if he's on mute? Sorry about that.
Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was on mute.
Yeah. So can you collect questions? Anybody has any questions?
Well, yeah, there aren't any questions at this time.
Yeah, I'll just open it up, Joshna. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. It's really very informative. Um, I'll start off with my question, particularly on the essays, right? That's very important, right? So, on essay writing, how do you actually do you have predefined set of information that the folks can look into so that they can um, articulate themselves to create these essays?
Let me tell you one thing. Okay, essay is a masterpiece, right? So it has to come from you. So your child has to write the first draft, okay? And then, or make a checklist of what needs to go in first. And then you work with an essay coach to fine tune it, right? So that's how the process starts. In August, you start writing the essay.
Yeah. Thanks, Susan. The other thing what I have is I know some of because of COVID-19, some of the colleges are not considering SAT or ACT, right? So how does that really? I don't know whether it's going to be impacting, but the entire analysis of picking up the students changes, right? So and I'm also hearing some of them they are considering SAT score too. So
Okay, so let me clear that up. When they have said that there's no SAT or ACT, you should be jumping and dancing on your rooftops. Okay, so now your focus or the number of things that they're going to consider is reducing. So it's GPA and your essay. So your essay has to be smashing. Your focus should be that. So okay, they've taken out SAT, ACT. So why care? They don't need it. So why should you even put that? If you've already taken it, good. But if you've not taken it, don't even bother. Please focus on your Common App essay, right? Focus on your common application. Increase the number of schools. Okay, and you will see that the schools have added supplemental essay topics to augment that. So your focus has to be on essays.
But is that situation only relevant to COVID-19, or is it going to continue in future? What are your
We don't know that. It is for the senior year. It is for this year. The requirement is waived off. And I'm thinking that it will also be for the next year. It doesn't matter. You go ahead preparing for whatever it needs you. If you're a junior year, then go schedule your SAT and ACT and take it. If you're a senior year, don't even bother about SAT, ACT. Focus on your common application and your college admissions, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So when they don't require something, why bother is my point of view, right? It's even better, I would say. It's like it just whole standardized test taking is like it's so confusing. You have to go study for that, go take it. A lot of kids are not very good test takers, right? So focus on your essay and your grades and your college selection. Yeah.
The other thing which I wanted to bring up is the school recommendation letters, right? I
Yes.
mean, I also feel that's something. So, do you want to touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, you pick the best favorite teachers that you have your good relationship with, and make sure they could give you a good recommendation right from the freshman year, right? And tell them in advance that you're going to use them as the recommendation so that they're ready. You follow up with them and make sure they write a good one. Yeah.
How many recommendations do you think will help? Is it one, two, three?
Two. They have a specific if you look at the common app, they have only specific spaces for that. I don't have opened a common app, but next time I'll have some snapshots that will help you. Two recommendations, and external recommendation also will help from somebody. Yeah, two from the teachers.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
This is Prashant.
Hey,
My
Prashant.
daughter is in. Hey, to start with, it was very, very informative. I'm really fortunate to get this access, and thanks to TASJ to take this. And my question is, one thing is my how to. There is a lot of advertisements I have seen about helping us in doing applications for college.
Mhm.
How can you help? Is it a 1-2 session effort, or it's a continue? Should I start now reaching out to you about the college application, or how will, is it like a I pay a fixed amount of money and I can have your services for next 1 year until we get into the
Yeah.
college?
So sorry. Which grade is your child?
She is a junior.
Okay, perfect. So this is what I do. You don't need me like a math tutor to teach your child every month. So I usually have a 3 session that I work with the child, and then I have a monthly program. What I do is I work with the child to discover them. Okay, so let me quickly go over something that I do with the kids that I coach. It'll give you a fair idea about. So can you see my screen?
We can, but it's small. It's not
Okay,
highlighted.
I'll
Yeah,
make it
we
bigger.
can see. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so this is what I do. Okay, so with the thing, I work with the child, and this is from Harvard, where they say that a child has to run their life like an air traffic control system, right? So what I do is I help find their discover their learning style. Okay, so that they are effective, they do their homeworks more quickly, they pay attention in class and everything. So I help them with the learning style, okay, which is either a visual learner, auditory learner, a kinesthetic learner, or a read write learner. Okay, so I make a create a plan for them. Got it? And then I do and I then help them to pick a major or a profession. I work with the child and the parents. It is based on this test, which is called multiple intelligence. You have 8 multiple intelligence in total. Okay, whichever is the dominant one is what your strength is, right? I am an interpersonal, I'm people smart, so I picked that sort of a profession. So I have a test that will determine that. And based on the mapping, we can determine if their linguistic intelligence is dominant, then they would go into this profession. So it helps them create some kind of a clarity to pick their majors, right? And right, and after that, I do a personality test for the child to understand what is their personality. Okay, that's extremely important. It's a 4-letter a personality that you get. Okay, based on the personality, again, I map it to the college major. You understand? So there's a lot of things that I do, and yeah, and I help map out everything, and then we put it in a plan, and I have a tracking tool where the children whom I coach, they have daily deliverables, weekly deliverables. Okay, so for this year, I'll map out everything and I'll give it to them, and there will be follow-ups. Okay, so the thing is, I have a lot of kids; they all come together and we will work on their extracurricular activities like I showed you here. I will map out all these things, basically the strategy for the admission process, the academics, the extracurriculars, the SAT ACT strategies, and everything is mapped out. Does that answer your question,
That
Prashant, or you have
right.
any?
That's real. No, no, no. That's really in depth, Joe. Only thing my question is generally when people start coming to you,
They
will they
start
do
in
start
one
from
year.
freshman or
Yeah, they start from the freshman year, but I do juniors and seniors also. Seniors, it's more in depth. It's like every day because the college application, I have seniors that I work with, and I work every day to see their essay and everything. But for juniors, I have 3 sessions with them, and we are on track. And then every other week, we meet to see if we are meeting our goals. There is daily goals, there's weekly goals. I have another associate who makes sure that all the daily, weekly, monthly goals are on track. The grades are on track. I teach them study skills. Okay, their SAT scores are on track. Their college application, everything is covered in my coaching.
that's good. So we can go to the website or somewhere to find out what is offered and how
You
much
can
it costs
schedule.
to
I'll
meet.
I'll send you an email. You can schedule a 30-minute call with me, and we will go specifically for your child. Or yeah, if you give me your number,
Perfect.
I mean, if you can just text your number, I can reach out to you as well.
Okay, sure.
There's
I'm
also a
going to fill
contact
the
form.
form you sent, right?
Sorry.
I'm going to fill the form you posted.
Okay.
That will
Okay, Ninad, did you post that form?
Yep, I can repost it
Yeah,
too.
please repost it. Yeah, put it in the spreadsheet, and I'll be sending an email where what I do is I will send this presentation. I'll send a YouTube of the video, and I'll send a 30-minute call that you can schedule with me in the Calendly app. Okay, and my phone number. So at your convenience, you can schedule a call with me for 30 minutes. It's with your child, and we can discuss that, and I will tell you what I can offer, and we can go from there.
That's great. Thanks, Joe. Thank you very
No
much.
problem. Yeah,
Hey, Joe, this is Sushma. Can I go with the next question?
absolutely. Please. Yeah.
Hey, great job. This is my first time attending any of the webinars related to kids. So it's really impressive. Thank you for putting this through. So I have a freshman. So when would be the right time for him to start preparing for SATs? And who could I reach out to for those information, and where do I start basically?
Okay, so I coach kids for the freshman year as well. Like I mentioned, I have a girl who's very clear about aerospace, right? So we work, again, it's a 3 session where we do all the discovery, we map out everything for the future years. It's not like I do it, I make the child do it. Okay, so if you're interested, we can do that. And preparing for SAT, ACT, please don't waste your time right now. It's the sophomore summer or the beginning of the sophomore year, not the beginning, the January of the sophomore year is when you start preparing for SAT, ACT, right? So right now the focus should be on the course load, what courses to take and mapping it out, how to bolster your grades and the course that you've taken, looking for opportunities like planning and mapping it out is extremely critical in the freshman year.
Cool. So what do I do if he doesn't know what he wants to do? Like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
have, when I ask that question, what do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. That's the answer I get.
That's
So
okay.
if the
Yeah.
kid is not clear on what he wants to do, then where do I start? I feel lost.
Yeah, you come to me and I'll be able to help you. That's that. The thing is,
Sure.
I run a variety. My discovery, I do a 3 package thing where my first session is discovery. I spend 3 hours with your child. A lot of kids say, Joe, you draw so much blood out of me because I do so many tests and answering. I find out their executive functioning deficiencies, their strengths, and then the multiple intelligence. There is a test that I run which will tell me like their top 4 strengths are, okay? And then I do this Myers-Briggs personality test, okay, to see if they're introverted, extroverted. The middle 2 letters tells me exactly what their college major is going to be based on intuitive questioning. I'm a life coach, so I don't use judgment questioning, right? I use intuitive, inquisitive questioning. So anybody whom I work with will talk out what their passion and interest is. Okay, so that's the discovery that I do.
Okay, thank you. So I'll reach out to you then. Thanks again.
Sure. Like I said, I'll send you an email with a Calendly app. You can
Hmm.
schedule any time with your child or however. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
sounds
just
good.
on the
Thanks.
same line, I just want to ask one question, right? Yes, your coaching services definitely is going to analyze them, right? But I've seen kids. I'll take example of my kid itself, right? He went to great college, Johns Hopkins, and he has a very good AP Bio score, perfect score in SAT subject. And I was turning in that he's going to go into pre-med direction, but guess what happened? Just after his first junior year, he switched to STEM. So,
Yes.
how does those kind of situations also?
Sure. That's why we have this. Okay, let me tell you something that there are career counselors. Their only job is career counselors. They always work on the Myers-Briggs personality. Okay, the 4 letter word is like 4 letter thing that describes you, right? So this is what happens constantly. If the child is not clear what they want to do, they drop off. It happens even with the pre-med track, right? They are in it and pre-med. Okay, your child was in pre-med. Yeah, they go with all these options because they don't know what they really want, right? So this really helps them. These testing things will help them. Like the first letter is how they direct their energy, whether they're introverted or extroverted, how they take information, right? So I have a lot of introverted kids. It's like you can't put an introverted INFP kid in a place where there is debate, right? That doesn't align themselves. And if I show you here, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so for instance, these are the 2 letters in the this personality. So it helps them. I am an ENFP, which I fall right in this NF thing, education psychology. That's where I am, right? So these tests help them like totally clear, like helps them like guide. I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect, but it gives a sense of empowerment. You know what? Children are like, they don't want to disappoint their parents. They will do whatever you ask them to do, right? But it has to align with their passion, talent, and interest, right? So yeah, these tests like totally helps them with that, especially this multiple intelligence test that I run. I'll show you a discovery that I run. It's like so in depth that it takes me like 3 or 4 hours to go over it completely, getting to know you. What are your talents? What are your personal strengths? Okay, what makes you tick? Right? Then I have all these questionnaires, the social skills questionnaire, their multiple intelligence questionnaire. We get so exhausted that I give this 16 personality test as homework, right? And based on their personality, it's like even their learning styles, their communication styles, down to that is what I do, right? It's so comprehensive, so that there's no wastage. Like it pains me. Like I would say I'm an advocate for the kids. I tell the kids, hey, your parents paid for me, but I work for you. So you make use of me, right? That clarity you can't expect a child to have without proper guidance. Let me tell you that. See, all of us are in the corporate world, right? We have agile methodology, we have a scrum master, we have waterfall, we have all kinds of things. What do these kids have? They still have to be functioning at that, right? So they need some kind of guidance, right? Some guidance, and it's extremely empowering when a child finds out what their strengths are, right? What their talent is. They will direct all their energies towards it, right?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Susma. That helps. I think there's one question which
Sure.
is basically very
International
important. I think,
international students, is that the one?
yeah, Sachin was asking that about
Yeah.
international students here.
Yeah, so international students, they don't get an in-state or an out. International students are considered like in the green card process. They are aliens, so their fees is completely different. Okay, like even if you're on an H4 visa, you will get in-state fees, but not an international student. And a lot of people ask me about scholarships when you're on a dependent visa. There are no scholarships for anybody other than citizens of this country. You will qualify for in-state fees if you are a non-international student, but international students all pay different fees. I have another friend of mine whose son also got coached along with my son, who got into the University of Chicago, exceptional school with economics, and he has a completely different fee structure. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Sachin?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much, Jyotsna. And what I was looking for from an international student perspective is like the scholarship, right? Primarily, I think the CSA profile or the FAFSA that we feel. I think FAFSA is definitely not qualified for international,
No,
right? It's being
no,
federal.
no.
So the CSS profile that we fill in, that probably for international students coming from India, I think they at times do meet that criteria of $100,000 or less kind of package for a year annually. So in that case, do they still get any scholarship, or are you suggesting no scholarship at all?
No, zero. Please, they have other ways of. There are no scholarships, and my question is, why should they get their scholarship? They weren't raised in this country. Our children should be getting. I'm sorry, our
No,
children.
that's fair. That's fair point. I mean, nothing to take offensive in
Yes.
there, right?
No,
Fact
no, no,
is a
no.
fact.
I'm just telling you the colleges also are like that. International students have a totally different admission process and categories that it works. So once they come in, they have other opportunities, but they don't qualify for any federal grants or anything at all. Let me just review that financial thing. They don't qualify for any of those.
Okay, because when we go into the colleges online and try to find out about details on the open houses, they do provide us all the financial aid links, and then they suggest for international students, you still are qualified based on your CSS profiles and others. So that was a little conflicting from what you were suggesting. That's why I was
Yeah.
trying to clarify.
Yeah, I'm very sure they don't qualify for anything. Okay, any grant, any scholarship, they don't qualify because they've
So,
not lived here, or their dependents or their parents have not paid any taxes here. That's another consideration, and they don't qualify for anything.
right, but they can contribute to the economy of this country by coming in and paying fees, right? Like that's another way of why they should be getting some of that. So wouldn't agree totally that, yeah, I understand it's for the citizens, and because you're paying taxes, you should get benefits. But at the other side, you also consider that the country is promoting more talent from international, and they would, in that case, if they don't promote that by providing scholarships, they're not going to get it, right? Frankly.
Yeah, but let me tell you a scholarship thing. It's been extremely disappointing. I was so mad, raving mad. Uh, right? So my son didn't get any scholarships, right? He was like a exceptional student in terms of valedictorian or anything, because because of our income, right? There are all, if you are not brown, if you're an African American, if you're a Hispanic or anything, you will qualify for a lot of things, but not us, right?
Okay.
Not us at all, right? So that is another thing. The only
Sure.
thing he got was national merit, which was 2,500, and some scholarships within his school, right? Because he was a boy. He was not
Okay.
even a girl with STEM has a better chance, right? So it's not there, and don't waste your blood uh, based on thing. Yeah, like I said, merit. Yeah, merit-based scholarships are so few. It's
Okay.
like looking for a needle in the haystack. So this is what I tell people. It's not there. So why waste your brain cells over it, right? It's not there. It's not going to be there. So you need to make that decision whether you want to send your child to an 85 grand school, right? And I would totally say, please send them because of the opportunities that it opens up, right? Amazing opportunities. So please, some loan or something, just take it and send them to those colleges, because they'll get out and they will do phenomenal. They'll pay off all those loans, right? But it opens so many doors, right? So that's what I say. Like my son didn't pick Duke. Duke was 85. Johns Hopkins was 91. He picked Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was 53, and he could transfer all his school credits to Georgia Tech, and he shaved off 2 years in Georgia Tech. He will finish masters within that time. So those are the considerations that you need to look at schools, right? Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and if you see the opportunities that they have there is amazing. We have UPenn here, and I've gone to a lot of hackathons in the Wharton. I went to one hackathon in Wharton that was from Polo. They came and the kind of opportunity that they had and the challenges that they had and the prize money that they had, it opens a whole new door for that. So just focus on putting them in there, and beautiful things will happen. Don't think about this, like have a good 529 plan, set aside some money. And Srini, the Comcast stocks that I bought, that is the way you do it. We live for our children, so that's all I can tell you is IVs are expensive, and it's only a once in a lifetime opportunity, and go for it, right?
Yeah, one thing which I wanted to add to the person who was questioning about international students. Do you think? I mean, I've seen this, but maybe I might be wrong here, Josna. But just correct us. Some of the colleges they offer some college assistant school, teacher assistant programs, and as well as some internships too, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that is applicable even for international students, right?
TA is applicable. Yes. Yes, and also there are visa requirements for the internships, right? So that also needs to be fulfilled so that companies can pay for that, right?
Oh,
Yes, if like if they have to be paid, then they have to be in a specific visa status, right? So yeah, TA and all that they can do. And yeah, and for H4 it is in-state. Yeah, somebody asked about H4. If you're on H4 or EAD, you pay in-state. But let me tell you something. Private schools have no in-state, out-state. We live in Pennsylvania, but if my son got into UPenn or Wharton, we would be paying 75 grand. Private schools have no in-state, out-state fees. There's just one. That's it. It has to be a
And to
state.
add to the international idea for like scholarships and financial aid, you can get financial aid if you're an international student, but it decreases your chances of admission. That's what I've seen. If you're a citizen of the United States, and you apply for financial aid, and you get it, usually your income has to be below $200,000 collectively. Your household income has to be below $200,000. That's like the norm. It's need blind, right? So a kid who's making parents are making $1 million versus a kid whose parents are making $50,000, there's need blind if you're a U.S. citizen. So they don't look at need. But if you're an international citizen, they do look at need. So if you need financial aid, um, you might get picked. You might get rejected over a person who doesn't need financial aid. An international student who doesn't need financial aid. So that's something to consider. And also
Yep.
for in-state tuition, you have to be a resident for think 4 years or something around that time frame for an in-state to get to qualify for in-state tuition, but that's only for public schools. So Ivy Leagues, they're all private schools. So you still have to pay the full price, even if you live in the state where the Ivy League is.
Got it. I think that definitely clarifies a lot of things. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so my son joined Georgia Tech, and we thought, oh, we'll buy a property there and sort of pay in-state. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't matter whether you have a property in that state, you should have lived there and you should have filed your taxes there. So in order to qualify for in-state. Yeah. Let me tell you something that the Ivies are in the business of making money and not really imparting education. So when you're going to an Ivy League, you're not really going to get educated. You're going there to build your network. You're going there to build your profile to be massively successful. So that is like the sort of a balance. And I tell kids, right? Yeah, they are the CEO of their lives and they have to make an executive decision. Oh, is this investment good? I'm going to buy over this company for X amount of dollars. What is the output? So that is the way your whole mindset and your philosophy has to change when you think about IBs, right? So they're the opportunities that they're going to give it to you. Our kids are very smart. If you're going to Ivy League, that means you can nail anything. You can go and study there. But you're going there to hustle. You're going to Harvard so that you'll have some incubator idea. You will get somebody to invest in it. You will go to the Silicon Valley and you'll implement that. Or you'll go to Georgia Tech because they have so many incubator programs. They're so startup oriented. They give you all these opportunities. There are internships that you get after your first year. So those are the kind of things that you weigh and you measure when you make a decision, right? So then the fees comes last. Yeah, you break the bank to pay for it, but you will have output because I know kids who've gotten out and gone to Amazon. Their starting salary has been 150,000. Okay, a UPenn computer grad went to intern in Facebook. He made like 8 grand a month interning. So you can see, like first year you perhaps have to pay so much fees, but after that kids are very smart. They go hustle, they find out a TA opportunity, they do internship, and boom, it's like 50% of the fees is what you pay, right? So just don't look at it like just look at it as a wonderful opportunity to uh, go forward in life, right? The opportunities that it opened up. I went to an Ivy in India, second year, REC Calicut, where only like 30 or 40% kids graduated. But the opportunities, the kind of companies that came for college for jobs, they were like phenomenal. So that's what you pay for, right? And making connections, like Polo came and they had a hackathon there. All these kids worked on the weekend to come up with a solution for the problems that they had. There was prize money, and it was sort of a guaranteed employment opportunity for them. It's beautiful, right? The kind of professors, the kind of research. I mean, that's what I would say.
Hey, just I have one more thing on the early decision and early action. Can you touch a
Yes.
little bit on that?
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So early decision is there is a cutoff date, and there is an early decision date. Like for example, October 31st, 30th, or November 1st. You are telling the college that you're committed to them, right? You are coming early, so you should consider them. So you have a better chance of getting into that school. In early decision, it's binding. So you're telling the college that, hey, I'm very serious about your college, so please take me. So if you're very like out of the colleges that you have, like pick one that you want to ED into, then you have early action. So that like enhances your chances of getting into that school. You stand a better chance of getting into that school.
So I also want to understand the difference between early decision and early action. So early decision is committed and
You
early
bind
action
it.
is an uncommitted version of it.
Yes. Ninad, you want to explain more and I will add to it?
Yeah, so early decision is basically if you get into that school, you have to go. Even if, the school, has a tuition of 80K and you didn't qualify for any financial aid, you're still sort of obligated to go to that school. So you can't back out of the school and attend something else. So that's early decision. Early action is just applying early. So if you get into the school, you don't have to go. You can only early decision to one school because you can't get into two schools and then say that you can go to both, right? So you can only early decision to one school, but you can early action to any number of schools as long as they are public, right? So if you early decision to a private school, then you can't early action to a private school. You can early action to a public school. So that's something to consider. So yeah, early decision or early action. Early decision they call binding, which means that if you get in, you have to go. Early action is not binding.
Yeah. And the dream schools, I absolutely recommend early decision.
Yeah, this is I have experience with my son. That's the reason I brought that up. To shine in. One thing is when he was submitting his early decision to Johns Hopkins, I really freaked out because of the pricing and all. Right.
Yeah.
Fortunately, by God's grace, he got some grant. Said that, but when I was reviewing his, there was a sentence which says that you can still drop out from early decision provided you show that you are not financially up to the mark. Is that, I mean, they had that clause in there, but um, do when they had that clause, when they say if your financial status is not good, what does that mean? Basically, are they only going to look at our W2s or also our debts and all the debt to income to debt ratio and all that?
See, the main thing is it'll take a lot more for you to prove that you cannot financially afford them. Like in terms of you can't qualify for a loan to afford their fee, and all those things come into picture when you have to prove that you cannot afford them, right? If it is it is like that. Like first you've done an early decision, you should have made your sort of financial decision then and there before applying. And now if you have to back out, you should have a sufficiently good excuse or a justification to back out. And you have to prove to them that something has drastically changed and you can't afford, like it happened during COVID, right? A lot of parents said, hey, I cannot afford you, right? I lost a job. I cannot be paying 81K. So please, bye bye, right? So you have to be financially able to prove to them that your situation has changed and you can't continue with them anymore. That happened a lot during this time, a lot. But still, what the Ivies will do, very smart. They have the first category, right? Kids who got accepted. Then you have the deferred ones or the waiting list. They'll go to the waiting list, okay? And they're very smart. They'll make sure that they'll fill up their classes, which happened this year, right? They have list after list after list. So if not you, another child. That's it.
Yep.
So that's what I tell kids. You don't go on knocking on the Ivy's doors. The Ivies should come knocking at you. You have to make yourself so irresistible. Got it?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
So any more questions?
Yeah, about the international student. So I have this friend's child who's coming from Agra. Even though he couldn't come, he's doing it online, but he still has to pay that kind of fees. He hasn't qualified for any grant or loans. But once he comes in here, he will look for opportunities for anything that will help him. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much. And one other question I had, this Sachin again, about getting into a community college and transferring from community to
Yes.
Ivy colleges at a later point. Is that something a good option? And
Ivies. See, let me tell you about Ivies. Ivies want to see your college credits on your resume, but they will not accept it. You'll have to again do it. Okay, only
Okay.
state colleges and few tier 2 colleges will accept credits.
And
That's
also something else to consider is that wait, sorry, you want to
yeah,
speak?
go ahead. No, no, no. I wanted to
Okay.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, so a community college to Ivy League transfer is like not at all guaranteed. In fact, it's probably harder to get into an Ivy League through community college. There was a recent like, well, you can look at some of the lot of the transfer rates. So basically, the acceptance rate for a transfer, and for a school like let's say UPenn, right? There's thousands and thousands of kids who applied for a transfer. Um, out of which 9 got accepted. So I think it was around 5,000 kids or something around that amount who tried to transfer to UPenn, and out of which 9 got in. So that's an abysmal acceptance rate. And the same thing is true for Harvard. I think only 15 kids I think from last year got into Harvard. So those transfer rates are incredibly low. So you know if you're planning on going to a community college in the States, um, there's really no guarantee that you can transfer to an Ivy League.
Yeah.
But
But
they will accept your credits if you happen to get in.
yeah. So the thing is, some schools like our school, which is Downingtown School District, have a dual enrollment policy with UPIT. Okay, so if you do AP Computer Science or Calculus AB, it shows you that it's like having done in University of Pittsburgh. So that helps in the college admission process, right? So you can check within your school itself, and sometimes what schools do is if they think that the child has studied everything beyond their what is being offered, then the counselor will help you pick courses outside of your school, right? And the counselor will make sure that whatever college you pick, it aligns with that. So it's best to work with your counselor. So we have this kid in our school district who's a math genius. So he went ahead and did a lot of college credits in UPenn itself, right? Because that was his dream school, right? Which really helped, right? So Ivies are in it for the money. They don't want to lose out on fees, even if it's like a freshman year fee. They will make you repeat it, right? So so there is no way out in them. You're at their mercy because they're going to open up their Rolodex for you, right? You have
Yep.
that stamp. It's like wearing branded clothes, right? So
Sure. Thank you so much for the clarification.
yeah, yeah. So anything else?
Um, do you actually also provide any recommendations on good Ivy colleges for specific streams, like let's say biotech or computer sciences?
Yes, yes. Like when I worked, yeah, like the freshman girl, aeronautical, we mapped out what schools she wants to go to. MIT was a first preference, Georgia Tech, based on the courses that they had, right? So we do those mapping, the top 5 colleges, then our safeties, okay, and then what summer programs can we do in order to achieve our goals. Everything is mapped out, right? Like I mentioned, grades that we need to get, the courses that we need to select, when we are going to do our SAT, ACT, what extracurriculars we are going to do, how we are going to spend our summers, how we are going to show our leadership. So it's the story that we've built, and we start building it from freshman year.
Okay, great. Sorry, I missed the initial few minutes of the call, so didn't get a lot of that if you had already spoken about that. Thank you for repeating.
No problem. I'll send you a link if you want to schedule time further. You can. I have a Calendly app which opens up my whole calendar, and you can schedule any time to speak further. There's no
Yep,
problem.
that would be great. Thank you so much. And this was Sachin, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure, Sachin. You're a very success mindset, motivated father. We like such parents who are very involved in their children's lives. And that's wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. And I also have a Facebook group. I'll send links for all that called Pioneer Parents. I discuss a lot of information. We collaborate. I have career counselors in there, special needs teachers in there, a lot of people in there who will answer all the questions. You'll be able to see past posts. So there's a lot of information that is there. I'll send you links for all of them, please. Yeah, we need more motivated parents.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I think I fall into multiple categories here. I have kids, my own kids who's here, and I have my niece who's in India but planning to do her undergrad in
We
US.
can help you with all that because
Yeah.
yeah, along with my son, who's the moderator, Ninad, another friend's child was in the same journey. They did similar things. They went to the same SAT, ACT tutor to get good scores, build a resume, and then he got into University of Chicago economics, which is like an extremely good program. And yeah, that's what we do. I'm passionate about kids and where they have to go and how to go about it. They're sponges. All they need is proper guidance, and they will reach the moon. That's my philosophy.
Great. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. We any more questions from anyone? Hey, we spent almost like more than it's near about 2 hours just now. It's very, very informative and interactive too. So I really thank a lot in joining us and having this detailed overview of college planning and all. I really appreciate all your hard work. I mean, all your effort here.